All right, today we're talking progressive overload and how to do it safely and efficiently. So first off, progressive overload is basically just our way of increasing the stress on our muscles and joints to stimulate an adaptation, whether that's muscle growth or strength gain. All right, so the first way to do it and the simplest way is to increase weight. All right, so let's use our back squat for an example. Right, so let's say I go in, 3 weeks straight, I'm doing a back squat, and every week I'm doing 3 sets of 5 at 155. Well, I'm doing the same thing every week, so there's not going to be any change in my body, right? The whole point of this is to stress the body, send off an alarm that tells the body, hey, we need to adapt and get better at this because it's a task that we are doing at, a high intensity frequently, right? So first off, yeah, you need to have good frequency to get that out. And second off, you need to actually challenge the system, right? So doing the same thing every week is not going to help. So we're going to increase weight, right? So maybe that's just adding 5 pounds or even, 10 pounds, depending on what it is and how new you are at lifting. At some point, that'll not be as easy to do just adding weight. So once you surpass increasing weight, then we can start increasing our reps, right? So one way I like to do that is, maybe if we're looking at it from more strength powerlifting perspective, you do a heavy top set of, 3 reps to 5 reps, something like that. And then, we'll go 2 to 4 sets of, 8 reps with a slightly lighter weight, depending on where you're at. But yeah, basically just increasing reps. So whatever, we do our 3x5 with a 135 on the back squat. And, we can't add weight for some reason. We can't add weight at all. So we're just going to try to make it 3 sets of 6, something like that, where we're just adding a rep or 2 until that gets easy enough. And then, that should allow us to add the weight. Again, all we're doing is increasing the stress on our body, creating the overload, and creating the adaptation inside. From there, another way you can do it is increasing our sets. So similar to what I said, where we had, our heavy single set, and then we had 2 to 4 sets at a higher weight or at a higher rep count. Same idea, right? So we're increasing our sets. One thing to keep in mind, though, right? So let's say we do 3 sets of 5. Now when we get to that 4th set, and we're just going to do 4 sets of 5 again with the 135, you might not be able to get all 5 reps because, again, that's something your body's never done, so you might not have the capacity to do that. So that's something to keep in mind, right? So increasing sets is a possibility. I like to go in with the rep range. So I like to do is maybe I'm doing 3 sets of 6 to 8. Once I hit 3 sets of 8, then I know, okay, let me increase the weight. So now I'm at 3 sets of 6, stay there until I increase my reps back to 8. All right. Another way to do it, we can decrease our rest time. All right. So now we're not resting as much. So now we're stressing our body faster and quicker than it's used to, right? So maybe we used to rest 3 minutes. We cut it down to 2 minutes. So now it's got to be ready to do the same output it's been doing for the past 2-3 weeks at 3 minutes. But now it's a minute less of rest time. So not my favorite, especially if we're looking at it from a strength perspective, but definitely good from a muscle building perspective. You can get away with that a little bit more because you're using lighter weights and you're going for a little bit higher reps. All right. And lastly is the most simple and probably the first one that will be no longer efficient, but is improving your technique, right? So if I'm doing a back squat, this is how most novice lifters are and why they can throw on those extra 5 pounds every few weeks, is because I'm doing a back squat. My first time doing a barbell back squat is probably not going to look the best because I'm learning how to squat. I'm learning the motion. But as you get more proficient with the motion, you get better at it, your muscles learn how to activate a little bit more, you learn how to be in a better position so you're not having energy leaks. So we're just doing it a bit more cleaner and efficiently, similar to think of like a pitcher throwing, right? If a pitcher's, kind of turning one way or doesn't have enough range of motion or something, he's not going to be able to throw it as fast because he's limiting himself. Same thing as a back squat. So improving technique will just generally be able to help you increase reps and weight. But that's the basic overview of progressive overload. Hope that helps. If you have any questions, let me know down below.